next hour, okay? Here's the deal. I am going to try and record this on my own with my damn voice memo. Good to see you all. Just 1 second. My kids will tell you how challenged I am by this. Voice memo! Boom! All right, here we go. All right. My fly's not open. That's good. Okay. I got a mic. I'm pretty loud. I'm very loquacious as well. Okay. New recording. There we go. Here we go. Don't 2 seconds. Okay, we are now recording this amazing panel. Maybe I can upload it to an episode of Observations. Maybe I can't, okay? And here's the deal. My glasses make me look even older than I am, and I am old. Okay, guys, you are here for a panel about me and something called X-Force, which was something I dreamed up when I was a kid. And X-Force spawned a character named Cable and Deadpool and Domino and Shatterstar and 5 million sales. And it changed my life in ways that you would never possibly imagine. And it was all because Marvel just kept saying, sure, why not? Sure, why not? Sure. It's when they give you a ramshackle, broken down shanty house, and they go, they said, if you fix it, great. If not, we're going to cancel it. And I said, okay, because I didn't want to do the better job they had offered me. And that was 1988, okay? Because there's a reason, if you go by the 90s compilation from Marvel, see, I'm getting old, it stumped me. It's got Deadpool on the cover, I'm like, well, where's Cable? And then I had to be reminded that Cable actually appeared in the 80s. Because I started my career in the 80s, it's crazy. I was hired as a teenager, and I'm going to reenact that for you in a minute, because why not? And it was a great story. It's truly a great story, it should inspire all of you. My life is an inspiration because I should never have achieved the wife that I have, the children that I have, the family that I have, the career that I have, okay? And I share it with everybody. And it's just like, keep doing it. Keep 1 foot in front of the other and keep going. Just like that Christmas special, that 1 foot in front of the other and you'll be walking out the door. That's in some Santa Claus thing. But it stuck with me as a kid, okay? And I'm like, I'm just gonna keep going forward, okay? So, the career that I have started in the 80s, which is why Cable was introduced in 1989. Somebody told me it was his anniversary yesterday, so he's 32. So that's amazing, because really, if Cable didn't work, none of it worked. But I grew up, all I wanted to do was draw comic books, nothing else. And I still draw comic books on paper. It's the biggest thing I get asked all the time. Do you draw on digital? I can't draw digitally. I can barely turn on a record button. I can't. I've tried that, and I'm like, man, I gotta press down. I'm gonna crack the screen if I draw digitally. I'll be like, wait, why isn't this oh crap, my $1,000 iPad is broke because I tried to draw digitally. That is for better men and women to do than I'm old school. I have reams of paper. Side note, I've never revealed this. This is a great tip. Again, just kind of fortuitous things. You read about paper shortages now, you read about all this stuff. I hear guys today going, today's paper sucks. Today's, Bristol board sucks. It's not, as good as the old stuff. In 1995, the printer, we were printing up our paper for the next several years. For the studio, I had 60 people on site. We were there for about 6-7 years. And they said, how many do you want? I said, I'll take 30,000 sheets. Now, that is a lot of boxes and a lot of paper. But it ensured that my grandkids will be drawing on that paper. Because I shut the studio down a couple years later, and I have all the paper, and now it's above water, so the flood doesn't get me, okay? But I have the best paper, and I have the most paper. Like if a publisher needed paper, they should call me. I'm not going to give it to you, but you should call me just so I can turn you down. The thing is that, so all I ever wanted to do was draw, and I drew on paper. And when I graduated high school, all I heard was my art teacher tell me, there's no future in comic books. What are you doing? He was a guy fresh out of college himself. My first year, he was a first-year teacher my junior and senior year. And I showed him my drawings, because in your junior and senior year, you can, back then in the 80s, 1984, 1985, you could create your own, curriculum if you were a kid, junior or senior. So I said, hey, I want to do these. I want to work on my sequential art. I want to use my hour every day to get better as a comic book artist. I'm 16 years old. And he is drawing a picture of Kareem Abdul-Jabbar that looks nothing like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. As I'm standing here looking over him, and he's trying to do it with this marker. I'm like, oh, that's really bad. And he's like, there's no future in comics, And he told me that Billy, who had won the local art contest, drawing some sweet Corvettes, and they were really good Corvettes. But I was drawn, I went through that like in my 6th grade art class after school that my mom enrolled me in, because she knew like, at least something will keep him busy. But so, I just remember hearing, there's no future, there's no future. And also my mom, gotta be honest, love you mom, love you Patty, she's wonderful, she's amazing. She'd smack my head, walk by and go, get your head out of a comic book. Nothing's gonna come in that. And I'd be like, sorry. And then when she'd leave, I'd get back to comic. This is parenting in the 70s, by the way. Okay, don't hold it against her. It's the 70s. They're smacking us all by the head. You've seen the Wonder Years, the new Wonder Years. That's how people parent. Get your head out of the comic. Sorry. Today I had to put it in jail. But the thing is, I went to a comic convention. The very first you've heard of it's called WonderCon. WonderCon. The very first year, there was a newspaper called the Comic Book Buyer's Guide. And in the Comic Books Buyer's Guide, they had a double-page ad announcing the first ever WonderCon. And I'm like, wow, look at all this talent, look at all these companies. Publishers are going to be there. Publishers, Eclipse Comics, out of business, but thriving then. Kamiko, out of business, thriving then. Dark Horse Comics, still around. DC, Marvel, obviously. Tons of First Comics, relevant, out of business now. But I was like, oh, I'll never get this chance. And I've been working on my panels. Okay, I've been working on my art. And my friend Hank Canals, Kanalz, he is my witness. Nothing is better than the witness, because that's what people tell me about my website all the time. I bring the receipts. I give you dates. I give you publications. I show you where things came, because so many people are just making shit up. That's the reason I did my podcast. I'm like, I know better than all of this, and I can bring like publications from 1979, 77, 78, 76, 80, and read you an interview and date it and show it to you and take a picture and show it to you. Hank Canals went on to be a vice president of DC Comics for the last 10 years before they, did the trap door and they all fell through it last spring.
Yeah.
And they all got laid off. But Hank was there forever, and prior to that, he was at Warner Brothers Parks working on Magic Mountain and all this other stuff, Six Flags. So Hank would have a career in comics as well. We were best buds at the time. We got in the car, he drove, we stayed at my aunt and uncle's who lived up in San Francisco, and the next day we went to Oakland for the WonderCon. And I had my packets, I had my, samples, and storytelling, all storytelling, no pinups, no covers. Wanted to show them I'm a storyteller. So I started with smaller people. You want to get your courage, right? And really for the benefit of this, like right here is the small publishers, and then I turned here, and then I went here, and here is like Dark Horse, DC, and Marvel was last, okay? And I started over here at Kamiko, and I said, hi, my name's Rob Liefeld. Here's my samples. Not interested. What? I just drove 7 hours. Okay, not interested. No, we're not looking for new talent. Oh, didn't equate that, okay? Walked a little further to Eclipse. Hi, my name's Rob Liefeld. Not interested. Go. Two not interested. Shit. Like, I'm screwed. Like, if they're not interested, how am I ever going to Marvel and DC? I keep moving down. Literally, Dark Horse, no one's interested. DC Comics, a gentleman named Dick Giordano, a world-class talent, inker, artist extraordinaire, when passed years ago, went on to become an executive editor at DC Comics, the publisher. He was sitting on a stool with his suit. He always wore a suit. I approached him at this point. I'm like, no one's hiring me. I'm not going to even get through the door here. And he says, I'll take a look. I'll take a look at your samples. Looks at me and goes, looks like you might have something here. Tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to take these back with me, and we're going to have somebody get back to you about you working for us, but I'm not going to promise you anything here, but I'll take these back. And he put them in his folder, and I'm like, okay, not complete humiliation. But at that point, I'm so nervous and stressed. I say to Hank, I said, let's just go. This has been a hell of a day. Let's just get out of here. And he goes, Rob, go to Marvel. Go to Marvel. It's right there. I said, they're just going to turn me down. This is stupid. I'm totally defeated. And he goes, just go to Marvel. And I said, come on. He goes, Rob. There's 10 people in the line, single file, 10 per. Okay, Hank, I'll do that. Blah, blah, blah. So I sat there, blah, blah, blah. Mark Grunwald, also long since passed, tremendous writer, editor, legend at Marvel Comics, was reviewing the samples. I'm shuffling up. You're completely bored of the story, but it's almost over. I'm shuffling up. I got my samples. I give him the 11 by 17 samples. Whoa, right on the dick. Whoa. And so You know what I have to lose? I didn't want to wait this line. I'm humiliated, okay? Well, I drove all that way from Orange County to San Francisco just to like have zero chance, right? Although Dick Giordano said he's going to call me. So Mark Grunwald literally flips through the pages like this. Goes back to the beginning. Flips. I start talking and he goes, shut up, kid. Talk to me. What's that? I get it. And then he flips again, and this is a moment I'll never forget in my entire life. Suddenly, because he's sitting, I'm not sitting like Mark Room. I gotta sit to do this correctly. And he starts to rise. And in my head, a soundtrack is playing. Dun, 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 because across the table comes an arm. Because I grew up watching the Bionic Man, which you never heard of. Okay?
A macho show.
It's coming. It grabs one and he goes, "Welcome to Marvel Comics." Boom! What the hell? How did that happen? Holy shit!
Woo!
And I never went back. And that is spring of 1987. And the good Lord said, "Liefeld, if you don't get into comics now, you're a mess. You're a hot mess. Everybody knew it at your high school. You couldn't, get a good grade to save your life, which is hard when you say to your kids, you gotta get good grades. Don't ever look at mine. You gotta pull the grades so you can get into college, just like your dad never went." Sometimes my wife enjoys this talk. Then my son one day said, "I want to be an actor." Okay. So anyway, life of an artist, right? So anyway, I go on to actually be contacted by Dick Giordano at the same time Marvel contacts me when we get home. I do this mini-series called Hawk and Dove.
Yeah.
If you see Alan Richardson and Minka Kelly, they are the Hawk and Dove that we provided you. I did not create Hawk. That is Steve Ditko. But the female, he's a legend.
Yeah.
Spider-Man, Doctor Strange. But the female Dove, we have ownership of because Dawn Granger is her own character. The Kiesels and myself crafted a whole new mythology and introduced magic into the entirety of the Hawk and Dove concept. They were born in like the 60s, one War and Peace. We changed that to Chaos and Order, but it starts selling really good. And you're gonna kind of get a through line here that I'm a little bit of a paranoid person. That's true. I think it serves me well, but my kids will tell you I'm crazy. So then a call comes one day, and when I mean a call, I mean a rotary phone with a long cord. Okay, again, young kids in here. This didn't exist. Magic internet didn't exist. Rotary phone. Okay, it took time to get a call. Or if you're lucky, so,
Touchstone.
Phone call came. Says, "Hey Rob, I'm Bob Harris. Bob Harris, I knew from my X-Men comics. I've just taken over as the editor of X-Men. And the X-Men was my favorite comic. It was everyone's favorite comic. The X-Men outsold everything 5-1 back in the day. And he said, Rob, this is Bob Harris. Calling from Marvel Comics. I want to talk to you about the X-Men. I put it like, I'm getting cranked. Bullshit. This isn't Bob Harris. This isn't the X-Men editor. I said, hey, buddy, I don't know who you are. I think you're pranking me. I don't believe you're Bob Harris from Marvel Comics. You never read out. You couldn't see that the number was from the 212 area code or whatever. And he goes, are you serious? I go, yeah, I don't believe you. Why would I believe you? I don't know who you are. You could be pranking me. You could be somebody from DC Comics like testing me. And he goes, Rob, can I give you my number and you can call me, and if it answers Marvel Comics, will you believe me? I said, yes, that is good. I will do that. So he gives me da-da-da-da-da, and I go, da-da-da-da. Hello, Marvel Comics. Oh, shit. It is Marvel. And we can put you through to Bob Harris. Hello. He goes, so you're good now? I go, I'm good. He says, I love your work in Hawk and Dove. I think you're an up-and-comer. I want to put you on some of these X-Men books. I don't have an opening just yet, but I want to give you some fill-in stories while we figure it out. So I start doing issue of X-Men and issue of X-Factor, and then he comes and says, you need to take over the X-Factor book because Walt Simonson is leaving. Walt Simonson, god of comic books. Walt Simonson, one of the best ever, should be on the freaking Mount Rushmore of comic books, is leaving. Would you like to follow him? No. I would not like to follow him. What? No, that's a bad move. And I tell people, sometimes you don't want to follow the greatest ever because everyone's going to go, this sucks. This isn't the greatest ever. and he said, but Rob, the royalties, it's good money. And I'll tell you how good the money is. A guy named Mark Silvestri, I'd go on to Star Image Comics with him and some friends of mine, right? Mark Silvestri was known as, especially by Todd McFarlane, the richest guy in comics. He's the richest guy. Well, richest guy meant had a house in Malibu, working in comic books, and a silver Porsche. How do I know this? I went to his house. He threw a party. We're Southern California homies. I go, Mark Silvestri at the time looked like Arnold Schwarzenegger in Conan, long hair, like a fan should be blowing him when he walks in. Ripped in muscles. Worked at a gym, was a bodybuilder before this. I go to his house, and when I mean on the water, I mean if the tide gets too high, his house is going. I mean, walk, not like house in Malibu and I'm 6 hills back. No, you're driving up PCH, you're driving, there's his silver Porsche in 1989, and he has a house in Malibu, and it's badass. And there's the water right there. I'm telling you, like he's the first guy down the day after tomorrow comes, right? But in the meantime, like, it's bitchin', like rad. And again, richest guy in comics, and that's because X-Men royalties. Okay? Because if you're on the other side of the curtain, you know what guys do when they're bored is, what do you make? What do you make? What's your rate? What's your rate? How's your royalties? Okay? And so Bob Harris tried to lure me with the crack cocaine of royalties. The royalties are so good on X Factor. Yeah, I'm going to be seen as not as good as Walt Simonson, no thanks. And he says to me, well, I got this book called New Mutants, and it's kind of nice book. I loved it. I was buying it, but in terms of sales, it was X-Men, Wolverine, X Factor. There's New Mutants. I know what the sales were when I came on, because again, I get my royalty statements. Okay. X-Men is doing $500,000. X Factor's doing $450,000. Wolverine's doing $500,000. New Mutants now today, oh my gosh, the greatest sales ever.
Right.
100,000 for the New Mutants. Baseline, I mean, way behind, 300,000 behind. So this is one. You know, Bob Harris. I've been telling the story for 30 years. He's never once contested me. Why? Because it's the truth. It's 100% the truth. He said, we're about to cancel this, Rob, but if you think you can do something to shake the trees, we'll let you on it. I said, I can do it. I know what's wrong with it. I know how to fix it. First of all, everybody in there. It's 1989. I've been in high school for 4 years, and everyone in New Mutants is dressing the way they dressed when I got into high school in 1981. No one dresses like Billy Idol, Rebel Yell anymore. No one dresses like a Virgin Madonna. Okay? Like, why do all these characters have bows in their hair, and they're wearing leather jackets with bare chests, and they look like old people are making this comic? Okay? Like, let the young guy on. And so I'm in my, at that point I'm 21, I think 20. And they say, but then I said, and you need a cool leader, because these kids just keep knocking into the walls. I got this guy named Cable. And I'd like to bring Cable into this book. That's what you negotiated. I said, well, here's the book. Because at the last minute, my editor goes, well, Bob Harris says, Rob, what do you think? Because I've been having some thoughts. Not crazy about the name Cable. What about Quinn? What if we called him Quinn? I said, we can call him Quinn, and then I won't give him to you, because I won't do it. I'll hold him back, because you signed a new agreement. For this much, blah, blah, blah. Sign. You give him over. I got a stack. Cable, Deadpool, Domino, Shatterstar. Even some clever ones called Forearm, the guy with forearms.
Nice.
That was one of my more clever ones. And, a little woman named Thumbelina. Come on, was I reaching? So anyway, so they let me introduce Cable, and Cable comes in the comic, and the book starts soaring. And I know this because the comic book store appearances that I was going to promote the book that I'd have 20 or 30, suddenly we're 100 and 200. And by the time New Mutants 100 comes out, I go to Pomona to get to a store signing, and I can't even park on the parking lot of where the comic store is because there's so many people there. And I looked to my buddy Marat. Now Marat, I was asking him to come and join me, and I said, "You going to be here tomorrow?" He goes, "Rob, I got to fly back for a wedding." My buddy Marat, who was my assistant at the time, was with me this entire time, but he is not here. He was here Thursday and Friday, so I am here solo. But so anyway, so we do Cable. And we introduce Shatterstar and Deadpool and all this stuff, and the mail goes crazy. And I've told this story before, but just like the Mark Grimaldi story, I got to tell you this story because it's the best. After New Mutants 98 appears, and so this is called the receipts. Marvel Age, I don't know what it is, but my art's on the cover of Marvel Age, and I'm previewing X-Force. I did this interview a few months before X-Force comes out. I say in the interview, Deadpool's coming back in issue 7. Okay, So before X-Force 1 ships, we're telling you he's coming back in issue 2. Why is Deadpool in issue 2? Why is he in X-Force 2 sold 1.7 million copies. X-Force 1, 5 million copies. Deadpool is a trading card in X-Force 1. He is a fact file. So I love when people go, nobody was into Deadpool. Am I supposed to act like I wasn't around and that this book didn't exist? Am I from a different time? Am I a variant? Like Logan? That's not my reality. That's not my timeline. My timeline was Bob Harris calling me the week after New Mutants 98 comes out and says to me, hey, Rob, we're getting the biggest response to this character than we've ever gotten in a character in the last 15 years. People are going crazy for Deadpool. I need you to put him in the next issue. I said, I just mailed you the next issue. I was going to reenact how Marat and I were getting FedEx. And you, all you New Yorkers are going to go, Liefeld is such a dick. You already think that. This is just going to reinforce it. To make FedEx back in the day, at the cutoff at 6 p.m. and get those pages to Marvel, otherwise I miss my deadline and I got a nasty phone call and I get read, but that book shipped on time for a reason. I had a trick. We had to leave my office, get on the on-ramp here and go down 3 freeway on-ramps to get off to FedEx. Well, we're doing it in heavy traffic, okay? I learned a method. Don't do this. Open your door. Just open your door while you're driving. Open the driver's door. And people are like, what the hell is that guy doing? His door is open. I am. I'm using it as a shield to clear the way. Yeah, baby. I made my deadline. And Rob would say, the most freaky, Rob, you scared the shit out of me whenever you open that door. Because I'm driving 40, 50 miles an hour. Fling the door open. It's like a sword. You want to see people get out of your way? Oh, shit, guys. I got to make my deadline. Get out of my way, get out of my way. Okay, on the off-ramp, close the door. Never got a ticket. I'll deny it if it ever is. I'll deny it. Okay, so here's the so when I say I just mailed the issue to you, I mean, come on, man, getting those issues in the box and getting them to FedEx, because again, there's no scanners. You're not scanning and sending a file. That doesn't exist. I'm sorry if I cursed. Because I'm normally a pretty family guy, but what the hell? He says, can you put him in the next issue? I go, just give me the next issue. It's 99. Can you put him in 100? I go, I can't. There's no room. We're jam-packed. Issue 100 came out, and it went back to press 3 times. Some of you guys brought me the super rare bronze reprint, which I never see. But New Mutants had no gimmicks. People say, what's your favorite? What's your biggest achievement? New Mutants 100. We had reshaped the team, reformatted it. We're about to launch as X-Force in 5 months. It has no scratch and sniff, no acetate cover, no glow-in-the-dark shit, no pull-out. It's just a comic book. That's it. That's it. No gimmicks. That's it. It's a comic book. It's written and drawn. It's a story that's entertaining. And to this day, guys like Robert Kirkman, forgive me, Robert, I mean, when Strife took off his helmet and he was Cable, I was like, what the hell? It's music to my ears. He told me that when I first met him. Jeff Johns told me the same. I'm like, okay, do you want to make me feel older? Because you guys are old, and you're telling me you liked this when you were young, so I must be really old. But a generation of guys were rocked and shocked by that comic, and that's my greatest achievement. We went back to press 3 times, we sold 1 million copies of New Mutants 100. And that's when I think Marvel said, we got something here. But the reason Deadpool's in number 2 is I moved him all the way up from 7 to 2. And he's half the book. It's like, hey everybody, hi, you're buying X-Force, but Deadpool's back and he's taking up the first 12 pages of the comic because you guys loved him. You guys put him there. That is true. I know what it means when they say by demand, because the fans demanded it. They demanded that Deadpool become a main feature player, which is why he's in X-Force 4 and 5 and 7 and 10 and became a major player alongside Cable, alongside the whole team. So to commemorate this amazing occasion, in November, Marvel let me do a 30th anniversary edition. And I took pages with me on vacation. I got a head start. I made sure it rocked. It sucked. I hope to God you buy it. I hope there's a copy for you to buy. It is amazing because I'm my own biggest fan, okay?
Yeah.
You see me pat myself on the back today a couple times? Yeah, here, I'll do it again, right here. Oh, Rob, you're so great! So anyway, the internet's not gonna do it for me. The internet tells me that I suck. And then I go, I don't suck. I live my life. I know it doesn't suck. My life is awesome. But, it's fun to battle against the internet madness. But here I am, and I'm so happy that you guys have showed up and that you enjoy my work, and we're going to commemorate that. I did 30 Deadpool covers this last year for Marvel, 30 for 30. I think the last 6 are on their way. There's a Deadpool Shang-Chi, there's a Deadpool Black Widow, there's a Deadpool Ghost Rider that is awesome. I'm going to tell you. I basically drew that cover at my son's graduation. What are you talking about? Okay. So I still go to church and I go to functions that I have to go to. Okay. And I always bring a sketchbook, and some of my sketchbooks are this big. You never know I have it. They're literally, and they sell them small. If you've been to art supply stores, you know they've got my little pocket. So my son had a big class, a lot of things. Okay. So I'm kind of bored by the service, and my kids don't mind. My other 2 are there, Kenny with my wife and I, and I'm sketching because I got to home and draw this Ghost Rider, Deadpool, and I just realized that I can't draw the Ghost Rider I thought. I went back and looked at the email. Oh crap, it's that Reyes guy. I gotta draw that. I'm totally off. So I gotta restart. Well, spite me. And I couldn't get it right. And then I said, I'm just gonna do 2 big heads. One looking this way, one looking this way. I'll put a knife in Deadpool's mouth. I'll put a gun. It came out awesome. The colorist went, I will make this great. Boom, it's great. It comes out in a couple weeks. You tell me if I was uninspired by being at my kid's graduation. And he made me finding out that I did this there at that time. I went home and blew it up. I blew everything up and did 11 by 17. But the bottom line is, here's the deal. I have been doing this for 34 years. I absolutely love drawing comics. No matter how many royalties I get or whatever big deal, I will be drawing comics until I die. I will be hunched over on a table, God willing, when I die, having a pen in my hand. And my wife will be like, he said he was going to do this. He said he was going to die at this table. Okay? Because I am going to die drawing comics. Now, that's the most I can really share with you. All my drugs feel like they're leaving my system right now. My wife only had so much powder left. She left the hotel room. I used it all before I got here. I can answer your questions if you like. Do you think you'd have a question? Maybe you want to know how tall Ryan Reynolds really is, how short Roland is. Okay, maybe. Is Jake Gyllenhaal really that good looking? Yes. So if you have questions, I'll just point at you if you raise your hand, and I'll let you ask a question. But if it's a rude question, I'm recording you, and I reserve the right to chew your ass out. Okay. Yes, sir. Go ahead. Oh, I guess you have to come in down to these mics. They tell me I'm being pointed that you can come to a mic and have a nice mic like I have a nice mic. And if your name is Mike, let me know that, because I'd like to know that Mike is standing at a mic. Okay, what's up? Is your name Mike? Okay, well, that sucks. Say what?
What led you to create Deadpool?
What led me to create Deadpool is a 5-episode Robservations that you should download and listen to.
Yes.
That's 5 hours, and I don't have 5 hours. But please, my podcast kicks all sorts of ass. And
yeah.
I did a 5-part Deadpool creating. If you want to know all of it, listen to that. That is the best thing I can give you. But honestly, I just wanted to draw Spider-Man. Okay. I just saved you 5 episodes. I said Marvel. He's Spider-Man with guns and swords. They're like, whatever, dude. Go with God. Cable's working for us. Okay. Are you serious? Are you lying? Can you show me ID? Oh, yeah. Mike is at the mic.
Some of my favorite Deadpool comics are the TiVo comics.
Yes, those are great.
Are there any people that Deadpool hasn't teamed up with that you would like to see him team up with?
Has he teamed up with Moon Knight?
No.
Has he teamed up with Peter Porker, the Spider-Ham?
That would be awesome.
Okay, that's what we need. We need that stuff, okay? Because honestly, don't you know? Okay, I did a podcast on this the other day. Like, the movies have now completely caught up with the comics, where they've realized, oh, the audience will totally fall for it. If there's a hole in the sky and some shit falls out, and they go, I'm from somewhere else. And it's like, yeah, let's have adventures. They can do anything now. There's no, Into the Spider-Verse was so advanced, okay? Like, I'm like, wait, in comics they used to go, stop, reader. Let's explain why X, Y, and Z are existing on the same plane. It's because this dimension, and then Into the Spider-Verse, they just go, yeah, here they come. Boom, 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 boom. And it's like, hey, alterations, what's up? Let's fight together. Let's pose and freeze and battle the big kingpin. So, Moon Knight, Spider-Ham, who else we got? I don't know. He has so many. Worst thing I ever did was turn that book down. They offered me Deadpool team up, and I turned it down, and I lived to regret it because I would have. Oh, I should have done it. I did Deadpool 4 later and gave you Lady Deadpool, and Dogpool and all those great. Thank you. Woo! So there's my answer. You look like you came from the 80s because you're cosplaying as someone from the 80s.
Kind of, yeah, from Cartoon Network stuff.
Got it.
My question is, for Deadpool, I was a huge fan of the comic books as well, and also the movies for Ryan Reynolds.
Yep.
From Ryan Reynolds. My question is, do you happen to have any details on Deadpool 3?
Oh, sure, I'll share them all with you right now. Where's the sniper that's going to shoot me? I'm totally okay. Let me tell everyone about Deadpool 3 right now, Ryan and Kevin. Okay, here I go. I'd be dead. My publicist is over there. He's a sweet man. I drove them crazy on Deadpool 1 and 2. I got calls all the time. You don't know that you haven't lived life until the president of Fox Studios, rest in peace, Fox Studios, the president calls you and you're up by the phone, you're like, holy shit, this guy that makes like 10 million years, call me. Like, to tell me like, Mr. Liefeld, can we make you happy? Can we solve this? So, yeah. Disney's more ruthless, okay? Yes. They're buying shit for $70 billion. Hey, Fox, $70 billion, and we won't make a damn thing for 5 years because we're that rich. I am stalked all the time. Somebody in here is reporting to somebody right now. I don't know who they are because they're undercover. So I would love to tell you that. I can't. I value my life. Thank you. Great shirt. Great shirt.
Thank you. I think so too.
What's up, buddy?
My name's Jack. I'm from New Jersey.
Okay, Jack.
I guess my question for you, obviously big fan of your work.
Thank you, sir.
Of course. I just wanted to know, any stories or characters in the past in particular that inspired your style on creating comics?
Yeah, everybody I ever grew up reading inspired me. I tell my kids, I hear a Bruno Mars song, and I go, he's getting that from Prince. And they go, who's Prince? And I go, that's Michael Jackson. You can still say Michael Jackson in certain places.
Right.
Yeah, especially in but I wear my all of my influences on my sleeve. Always have. I like the people who are open about it and say, yeah, I'm influenced by this. Directors, okay? There's scenes in Star Wars in 1977 that George literally took from World War II pictures, and instead of biplanes, they became TIE fighters, and he's not scared to show you that on a documentary. So this is what inspired me, or The Hidden Fortress, the Japanese film that inspired kind of the structure. So look, everybody, Jack Kirby, Art Adams, Paul Smith, John Byrne, everybody who I was growing up, we were all trying to be those guys. My peer group, Todd McFarlane, Jim Lee, Mark Silvestri, Erica, we were all trying to be the guys we grew up loving. I did a podcast recently with Eric Larson, and he kind of outlined the same thing, the guys who influenced him. Stories, now I'm just trying to keep it interesting. I saved, on X-Force 30th, there was a double pager. I won't tell you who it is, but I set it to the side because I said, I don't know that I can waste a double pager exploiting this character. I may need that for story pages. And then I got to the very end. I knew how the story was going to end, but I always leave an opening to give myself a twist. Because at the end of New Mutants 100, for about several weeks, that was a woman taking the helmet off that I had always envisioned when I introduced, because Cable and Strife are introduced both in New Mutants 87. So the big reveal, I was going to say, you just haven't been able to tell that she's a woman underneath all that armor. It was a good, but then I went, no, I'm going to go with this alternate Cable. And I think I chose correctly. Well, at the end of this X-Force 30th, the last 3 pages I did about a month ago were completely improvised, and then I knew that I had time to do that big shot with that double pager, so I went back and did that. So story-wise, I always keep something at the end so that I can maybe provide a twist or something cool. And honestly, X-Force 30 is like a throwback comic. It's big, it's got tons of action. It really is like a storming the beach in Normandy. X-Force is getting together to kill Strife one last time, and it's not just X-Force, and it's not just Deadpool, it's 5 Deadpools, 5 Cables, all from different timelines, pulling them in to, because since I left, when I left in the early 90s, I wanted to do a story called The 5 Cables. And I did it. That's this X-Force 30 story, but I added a twist. And I hope you enjoy it, and that's a long answer to a short question. Thank you. What's up, buddy?
Hi, Rob. My name's Nick. So, I've been sitting here listening to your story, and I realized you and I kind of have similar stories, and I also want to make stories cover up, except instead of drawing my anime.
Okay.
So I'm going to school for that, and I feel like there's no one better to ask the question. What's kind of step one? where do I go from when I leave school?
Okay,
Like,
well,
what-
that's a great question. Honestly, you guys live in the very best time ever to make something happen for yourself because of social media. You have a voice and an outlet that guys like me didn't have. Back then, maybe if they all turned me down, okay? Maybe then I just go, I'm gonna upload. I'm gonna upload and show how good I am to an audience. And maybe you buy a boosted post, maybe you gotta buy eyeballs, okay? But if you are able, if you have talent and you need to get that talent out there, social media is going to be your very best, and marketing. People don't market. So many people just think it's gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. The reason the image guys are the image guys, my fellow image founders, we were loud and obnoxious, and we kicked down doors, and we took the risk that people wouldn't like us. You know, did they not make a trailer? I swear I watched it 10 times. I'm on I ride a bike every morning, because if not, I'm gonna go crazy. Stationary bike for the last 30 years. And I'm watching, and I go on my YouTube, and I gotta see the Adele trailer to Tom Brady going back to the Patriots, okay? Oh my gosh, hello? And this guy, Bill Belichick, and Tom Brady looking all like, I'm back. And I saw that a million times, because I'm like, this is marketing to me. They are marketing this. I said to my wife, it's going to be the #1 rated Sunday night football game of all time. Boom, #1 rated Sunday night football game of all time. Because they took what they had, and they said, we could actually add some volume. Get Adele. If you go on YouTube, it says Tom Brady, Adele. So you get the best of both worlds. What's it marketing? Just a football game. No, it wasn't. It was a football game, and they probably asked a lot more money, and got a lot more money for those ads, and it got a ton of eyeballs. My wife's like, I'm going to root for Tom Brady. I'm like, I hope they kill him. So he's too good looking, okay? He's too handsome. That's what I hope. He's amazing. He's outstanding. But you can't be that pretty and be that successful. So I don't know that you got anything out of that, but I gave you some gems there. Okay? You gotta get it. You gotta drive like I did 7 hours to an unknown situation and and let it all hang out. But today you can do it all over the internet. I mean, dude, how many TikTok stars are born every day? I don't know. I'm not on TikTok, thank God. My kids are, and they're like, oh, Tutti Frutti is the biggest thing ever. I'm like, who's Tutti Frutti? Oh, she broke out last year. I don't know who Tutti Frutti is, but she has 3 million followers, and she's got a shoe deal, okay? Market yourself. But you have to have talent, and you're telling me you have talent, so it should be easy. There you go. Yes, sir, what's up?
How's it going? My name is Christian.
Hello, Christian.
I love your work as well.
Thank you, sir.
And I just wanted to ask, what was your favorite part of working on Deadpool and other Marvel characters? I know that's a big question.
You know what? Okay, so here's the deal. I gotta be honest. The thing about New Mutants, there was free fall, and somebody said, "Oh, Liefeld, what are you trying to say?" I always like to see that comments. They're the best. Right before I delete you and block you for life, I'll read your result, and then I will admit you for my existence. I just don't understand why people do this, but I get it. Are you trying to say that your achievement was better because you didn't have Spider-Man and Wolverine? Wolverine was the #1 character in comics. #2 character was Spider-Man at the time. If you got to draw them, you got a one-up on everybody. In New Mutants 94 and 95, I crossed over Wolverine with the New Mutants. I had to wait 3 months. The minute I got the job, I put in, could we have Cable? I want a story, I have a backstory. I have a backstory for Wolverine. Wolverine's my favorite character of all time. Well, we have to wait and get this approved. It took 3 months to get approved, okay? And so then we were able to slot it. I came out in 87, 88, 89, 90. By the time 90 was out, we got approved, so then we could put it in 94, 95. But I just liked filling the book with my ideas in a desperate effort to take the challenge up. If you don't get the sales up, we're canceling this. And they'd have another job for me. My career wasn't over, but it was a challenge. It was a challenge. The thing I forgot about the New Mutants 98, crap, I forgot to tell you the story. It's the best part of the story. I lost track. It's the deal. Okay, so here's the deal. They sent me, did you say, okay. He hates when I do the drug stuff. The thing is, they sent me the mail. They said, Rob, we're sending you the New Mutants 98 fan mail. I love telling this story. Because Marat was there. We had a loft in downtown Brea in Orange County, and the UPS guy visited, and one day, literally, like my publicist, he brought luggage on the plane that I swear there's 2 people in. It's so big. Lil Nas X was on our flight, and they had 100 pieces of luggage. And I turned to my publicist and I said, Paul, there's bodies in those bags. I've seen the Americans. They carve people up and put them in those suitcases. And people are in these. Hi, my luggage is as tall as me. This is the person. And then he says, you haven't seen my luggage. Holy shit, his was bigger. He brought 2 people in his bag. Why am I telling you this? UPS shows up with a box bigger than me. A cardboard box, and I swear to you, I will never forget this. I said, hot damn. You know how movie studios like buy like copies of the car? Well, they used to. When you open a movie, they say, we bought you a Porsche, we bought you a Maserati. I thought they bought me a washer dryer. I'm like, I got a washer dryer. My mom and dad buy washer dryers. I know how big they are. And I'm like, holy shit, this box is huge. I didn't see the guy, he just honked as he drove. I didn't see, if I had seen how light it was, I would have known that it was a washer dryer. But it was standing out there, just ding dong. And I'm walking around this box. Oh, I'm getting a gift from Marvel. Rap, ripped it open, nothing but fan mail. Like, pour it over my head, like, let's make a deal, like, you know, confetti falling on me. I read each and every one of those letters. Deadpool's my new favorite, anything ever. I love Deadpool. Da, da, da. He's like Spider-Man with guns and swords. Ding, 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 ding. Right answer. So the thing is, because here's the deal. And I'm gonna answer that guy. It's in the podcast. McFarlane is a great competitor, and he's a bit of a taunter. And he would be back in the day, he's like, Rob, you're drawing the hair and the eyes and the eyebrows and the teeth and the nose and the stubble. And I drew 2 big bloops for eyes and some webs and called it a day. I did a close-up of Spidey and I'm done. And you're drawing 7 kids and balancing out. And I'm like, that asshole. He's right. So now they're going to let me write and draw new mutants? Right on. My first issue, I got a Spider-Man too. Bunghole. Okay, so I got 2 big bloops and a circle, but no webs. Wham! Okay? This is called juvenile competitiveness. And I'm still engaging in it. And I'm 54. I have a serious problem, okay? But that is the birth of. And I told this story to Tim Miller, who directed Deadpool, and he goes, so, Rob, are you telling me that I should credit Todd McFarlane with the creation of Deadpool? Is that it? What? No, competitive edge. I'm like, I get what you're saying. He was seriously taunting. Because it's true. You want to draw Cable's face or Spider-Man's face? You want to draw Spider-Man's face. There is no answer that says Cable. You want to do faster and go have a life and have lunch with your wife and go to the zoo or whatever you do. Spider-Man's a much easier character to draw than, again, a bunch of kids with faces. So, game, set, match. Boom! Okay, so that's your answer. I don't know if I answered it. Okay. Take care of yourself. Next.
Hi, Rob. I'm
Hello.
also Rob. So, same name.
You're Rob?
Yes.
Okay, good.
We're practically brothers.
Don't rob me. I'm sorry. I'm a corny guy. Sorry.
Okay. So it looks like that rumored X-Force movie has been shelved since the merger. You don't have to confirm or deny. I know you're worried about that snipers.
I talked to Josh Brolin today.
Oh,
Just saying.
actually, my question. Hypothetically, Kevin Feige calls you up, says, hey, you're in charge of the X-Force movie. Which characters are in it and who are you casting?
I say, can you call Drew Goddard and use that script that he wrote 3 years ago that everyone was really excited about? But Josh Brolin, like, I can't wait to play Cable and Stripe. Let's use that. Let's just shoot that. Drew Goddard is, Google him, because you haven't heard him because you're too used to saying the word Russo. But there's always, no, that's not an insult. It's just the names fall. The culture, I've got kids. I see what kids elevate. My kids don't know who the hell Francis Ford Coppola is. They've never heard of God. I go, watch The Godfather. I'm too busy watching Squid Game. Okay. So don't see an all-time. I watched Squid Game too. Loved it. Called it. My wife, my kids. I said that guy is not who he says he is. He's that guy. And then I didn't know how much they liked another movie, which I won't say, which gives it away. But anyway. Look, Drew Goddard is a super talented guy. He was on tap to write and direct that movie. Everybody was excited. I'd just say, Kevin, let's greenlight that. That was, look, the reason Deadpool survived, I'll give you a story. I won't say whose name he is. San Diego, 2016. Okay, do you guys think, did you pick up in the press that Marvel and Fox had a rivalry before Marvel bought Fox? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay, it was nasty. See, I was in both worlds. I'll take this nice divider right here. I was 1 foot Marvel, 1 foot Fox. Because I get participation in Deadpool, so you're gonna call me, hey, what's up, yeah. And then Marvel's like, oh, what are you talking about? Okay, so every San Diego, for the last 12 years, me and 8 buddies go to a restaurant on preview night of San Diego, which is Wednesday. And then we always it's our annual kind of love fest. One of them is a Marvel exec. He walks in 2016. How am I doing on time? Am I done? 15 minutes. I got so much to say. You're like the story. I'm sitting, he's the last one in. Marvel executive walks in 2016. That is 5 months after Deadpool's made $800 million at the box office with an R rating, which people do not understand. Let me sidebar here. My son is embarrassed of Deadpool because his dad had something to do with it, okay? He's 16 and he doesn't want to, I invite him to I buy him a theater, I invite all our friends and some fans from a store. He's like, I want to take a picture with you, I'm so embarrassed. Okay, I love him, he's great, but he's doing teenager things, okay? And, well, that was the Wednesday before the movie came out, and then the movie comes out. And then he goes, hey, Mom and Dad, can you take me and my buddies to the theater? I go, what are you going to see? We're going to go see Deadpool. You're going to see Deadpool? You're 16! You're not going to get in to see Deadpool. No, I think we can. Nick says he can get us in. 3 of his friends are named Nick, okay? So I'm like, which Nick? No, but literally 3 Nicks. And so him and his buddies, and I go, okay, well, his mom and I drive him to the AMC, and there's a freaking line, and I go, that's for Deadpool. Do you know that Fox was actually totally nervous about, I love the first one. What's the Ben Stiller movie that came out the same weekend as, with the blue steel,
Zoolander?
Zoolander 2. They were nervous about Zoolander 2. I said, don't be nervous about Zoolander 2. We have Deadpool. These studios, they sweat everything, okay? So I'm like, that line isn't for Zoolander 2, okay? Well, we dropped Luke off, and I said, Luke will come and pick you up. Yeah, okay? R-rated movie. This is why. We go get him at 9:30. Movie's over. Oh, Dad, my friends love Deadpool. Oh my gosh, Dad, people love the movie. It's so great. I go, yeah. So how'd you get in? Yeah, they wouldn't let us. So we got back in line. We bought tickets for Zoolander 2, and we snuck in. Pulled over to the car. What? You gave Zoolander 2 Deadpool's money? What? I'm like, and trust me, Fox goes. So we opened to $150 million with a giant portion unaccounted for that went to Ben Stiller. Whatever that opening number for Ben Stiller, cut that in half and give that to us. So that is, R rating, that's hard. You guys don't believe this. The first Tom Holland Spider-Man movie with Tony Stark, Downey Jr., all the bells and whistles, Vulture, Michael Keaton, made less domestically than Deadpool 2. I mean, Deadpool number 1. 1 year later, first Tom Holland coming out of Civil War, Spider-Man, Homecoming, is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Yes. Made less than Deadpool domestically, okay? So Deadpool was on the rise, surging. So now, executive, my buddy, comes into the dinner, sits down and goes, congratulations, asshole. That's what he called him. He goes, because you and Deadpool, now we're going to have to pay Fox like $50 billion. They've found a way through. And I'm like, what does that mean? He goes, come on, they're like on their hands and knees stumbling around trying to find how to make the X-Men work, and now they found it. We're screwed. We gotta pay so much money now to Fox. I'm like, okay. I didn't think it was serious. But so I don't know what your question was. Yeah. So Deadpool did good, and it was fun with Fox, and I would say make the Drew Goddard. And they're really ruthlessly competitive. And the reason Deadpool survived, now I'm back on track, the reason Deadpool survived is because of you guys. You showed up and saw him, even with R ratings. Both movies R rated. The weekend it opened, it went to the $1 billion franchise. And I knew Ryan is too humble to say it. So I said, I will say it, and he will retweet it. And I said, boom, just like that, Deadpool is a $1 billion franchise. Retweeted 30 seconds later. Because that's right. Ryan's like, that's my boy. I got a $1 billion franchise. Because that's a big deal in Hollywood, right? I mean, so look, Deadpool's got a bright future because everybody and their mother. Like, didn't he do like a video with the guy that's a pile of rocks? 10 minutes. I got 10 minutes to talk slower. What's his name? Korg. Oh, no, which is the best part? Follow that dream. Realize that dream. That was the funniest. That was hilarious. Nobody saw that coming. But that was like his first kind of entry into Marvel, and everyone lost their craziness over what is really a trailer for Free Guy that has Deadpool and Korg.
Right.
Like your Marvel Fox universe jammed together, and they should, because Free Guy is outstanding. Honestly, people.
So good.
It's my favorite Ryan Reynolds movie. Okay, so sorry Deadpool, I love you too, but Free Guy, I was on the floor when he has the Hulk hands and the shield, and Chris Evans, brilliant, with the whole movie. I cried at the end. Who's that guy? He dies in the bridge. He goes, I had a good life. I'm like, my wife's like, are you crying? I'm crying at Free Guy. It touched me deep. His friend, they didn't use him enough. He was great. Anyway, I have more than answered your question, I'm sure. You're tired, go sit down. I'm gonna keep doing this.
Let's get X-Force movie trending, everybody, on Twitter.
Okay, let's do it. Hey, I'm sorry. People have been over here? Yeah. What? I'm sorry? Scooby-Doo, I'll be back. Okay, what's up?
How's it going?
Good.
So, one of my favorite comics is Deadpool Kills the Marvel
Are you
Universe.
kidding me? That's right. That's right. I did. Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
One of my favorite comics is Deadpool Kills the Marvel Universe.
Great comic.
How did it feel seeing your character literally kill everyone?
I loved it. I loved it so much that when it did the sequel, I said, Marvel, can I put me and Stan on the cover with Deadpool killing everybody? And they're like, yeah, sure. And that's available on my table. Or I'll be signing right after this. Anyway, no, I loved it. I look, anytime, those Kills books, I think, didn't Punisher kill the Marvel Universe too? Look, those are great ideas. They're great, giant. So here's the deal about Deadpool. I did a book for them called Deadpool Bad Blood. The reason I'm telling you this is I'm like, well, I want to call up Marvel and make sure I'm not offending anybody with any of my story choices. So I called, and the Grand Poobah of Marvel Comics said, Rob, Deadpool has no continuity. Well, just do whatever you want. We don't really believe that he has a set continuity because nothing would work if we did. Because he's killing the universe and he's going up in space, and so just do whatever you want. I'm like, no, it was variants before variants. Like, who gives a crap? Deadpool. So I love when he kills the Marvel Universe. I love when he faces off against other Marvel characters. And again, like, honestly, I'm sure that Ryan's like, can I have Chris Evans? No. Can I have Cord? Yes. Hey, tight guy. Yes, Ryan. And they did it, right? But when if you see Mark Ruffalo Hulk out and Deadpool walks in, you're going to lose your crap, right? I added that. I almost said crap. You're going to lose it, right? Yeah. I'm going to lose it. We're all going to lose it because it's become this new holy grail. When will Deadpool? When will Fox characters? I got to be honest. I'm still holding out for Hugh Jackman because I love Hugh Jackman so much. Hugh, come on. When they talk about recasting Wolverine, and here's the thing. Ryan Reynolds has been Deadpool since 2009 in the brilliant, celebrated piece of art that is Wolverine Origins, right? In that time, Tobey Maguire put down Spider-Man. Andrew Garfield's like, I'm Spider-Man, yeah! See ya. Tom Holland, I'm Spider-Man, yeah! And I think, like, in 20 years, has it been so Christian Bale, Ben Affleck, now Robert Pattinson, and that's if we don't go back another decade and count Clooney, Val, Michael. At some point I said to Ryan, because he gets that latex makeup, and you see how even at the end you can see Robert Downey Jr. was hitting the gym. Like, I gotta feel a shirtless scene, so I gotta and dye my hair out. I gotta look handsome. All these guys gotta get buff. Holy crap! Chris Hemsworth's like, hi, The Rock. I can get bigger than you. Watch. Because I saw him. I'm like, wow. And now he's like, I'm gonna sell fitness shit. Why not? I'm super buff. Why don't I tell you how to be super buff? All these guys. I said to Ryan, you could become wrinkly and old and even ugly, and you're still gonna be able to play Deadpool for 60 years because you're in Freddy Krueger makeup. It's like, this is on the first movie. He goes, yeah. That's pretty awesome. Like, he doesn't have to worry about, am I handsome enough? No, because I was shocked in the second movie how little of handsome Ryan you got. He's in it for like 60 seconds. He's mostly like pepperoni face. I'm like, he can show up and shoot those scenes and like never have to worry about getting old. And in that time, how many we're gonna have 100 Spider-Mans by the time he gives up Deadpool, okay? And literally, Hugh Jackman, I think, has been like Wolverine longer than the Batmans and the Spider-Mans. It's just uncanny how some of these guys, and it's to their credit, stay the character while we see all these rotating. It's my way of complimenting Ryan. I'm trying to compliment Ryan, so I'm gonna move on. I'm complimenting Ryan. I need to get you a question. Thank you very much. You're very nice. And I'm sure I have 5 minutes. Do I have 5 minutes? Yes. Or have I already ticked down? Yes. All right. I'm so sorry I ignored you. I'm sorry, Scooby. I'll get you last. Okay, go ahead.
All right. Alex from New Jersey, wondering, they
Hi,
said
Alex.
you have to write from experience. What experience have you written for Deadpool that you're really proud
So
of?
I'm an asshole. And I was able to write an asshole movie because I'm an asshole. People, they try and like, Marvel said, well, what do you think his personality is? I go, he's an asshole. He's an asshole. He's an asshole. Okay? And if tell me that when you see the movies, it does not tell me in the cartoons and in the games. Okay. I'm gonna do another story. So the Deadpool game comes out, 2014. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. And my kids have just finished practice. I pick them up. We go to Taco Tuesday because it was a Tuesday. And we go to GameStop. And I'm going to get that damn R-rated game because I'm so excited. I'm not going to wait for my copy. And I go into GameStop, and now it's 6 p.m. It's like I said, my kids are already at the basketball practice. And I go up, and my kids are big video game heads. And I was going to have I don't play video games. But my sons do. So I'm going to have them play this R-rated video game. Until their mom says, he can't play that anymore, which happened. But buying the game, I get up to the counter and I said, I would like un Deadpool video game. And the guy goes, oh, sir, okay, well, can you wait right here? I'm meeting with the manager. I'm like, what'd I do? I just walked in the door, I want the Deadpool game. Manager goes, oh, sir, I see you got kids here and you're going to buy this Deadpool game. And it's been a real big problem with us all day long. We've had moms return the game all day. It's very offensive. He's very crude. I'm not aware if you're aware. I said, I'm aware. I just want the game. So I just want to make sure you get the full warning because we're getting a lot of, all the game stops are getting a lot of trouble. And my youngest son goes, he created Deadpool, can you just have the game? Okay. And then they're like, what? And I'm like, all right, here. You're going to Google me when I left there. You saw that's my license. That's me. Can I buy the game? Then I go home, and the first 2 levels, I'm good. They would never get this game past today now. But 2014, I'm already thinking of things that would get things canceled. There's a girl in a string bikini in the game. I'm describing what happens. I'm sitting on my couch watching my son get to every different level. Well, he gets to the level where Deadpool sees the girl in the bikini, and the camera is going in on her chest. And then his hands are going in as if he's going to feel it. And my wife goes, what are you doing? I'm just having Luke play the Deadpool game, honey. Turn that off. And I had a friend come over the next weekend who's my age to finish the game, so I couldn't see it. But I think I have experience. So there you go. One more here.
Hi.
I'm sorry. I'm going to go as fast as I can. But your shirt is great. Looking back at the eye. Okay.
What was it like finally getting a game for Deadpool, and what was it like getting the 2 movies for him as well?
It's fantastic. It's great. So we went and saw the new James Bond the other night, which I love. Go see it. 2/3 of it is the greatest action movie I've ever seen. Oh my God. Anna de Armas. That's the sentence. Holy crap. She should have her own spin-off. But my publicist goes, this is where the Deadpool 2 premiere was to my wife and I. And I'm like, oh crap, I remember going up these mile-high, like it's an escalator that you think you're going to the moon. Like it's so high. And so we went and saw it there, and it reminded me, and that was so exciting. Because Deadpool 1, we didn't really get a premiere. We got like a backyard premiere. Like, we're on one screen in this theater down here. We're calling it a fan screening. We got one step and repeat. Celebrate Deadpool. I got 1 minute. So to go to Deadpool 2, where you're like, oh, there's money now. Like, we have a giant premiere that takes over this whole place, 2 stories. So it was awesome. And just hanging out with Josh and Ryan and Zazie and seeing your characters come to life, there is nothing like it, especially perverted video games. Thank you. Okay, I said it for Jen as I'm walking away. What's your question?
Just make this quick. How different would your life be if you got a job for DC instead of Marvel?
Well, I did, and I turned that into a job for Marvel. Yay!